Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the iconic Sinead O'Connor, also known as Sinead Mary Bernadette O'Connor, born on 8th of December 1966 in Dublin, Ireland. She was an Irish singer, songwriter, and political activist. Her debut studio album, The Lion and the Cobra, was released in 1987 and charted internationally. Her second studio album, I Don't Want What I Haven't Got, was her biggest success, selling more than 7 million copies worldwide. Its lead single, Nothing Compares to You, was named the #1 world single in 1990s by the Billboard Music Awards. O'Connor released then studio albums Am I Not Your Girl and Universal Mother were certified gold in the UK. Faith and Courage was certified gold in Australia, and Throw Down Your Arms went gold in Ireland. Her work included songs for films, collaborations with many other artists, and appearances at charity fundraising concerts. Her 2021 memoir, Rememberings, was a bestseller. In 1999, O'Connor was ordained as a priest by the Irish Orthodox Catholic and Apostolic Church, and an independent Catholic sect that is not recognized by the Roman Catholic Church. She consistently spoke out on issues related to child abuse, including during a 92 Saturday Night Live performance, human rights, racism, organized religion, and women's rights. Throughout her music career, she spoke about her spiritual journey, activism, socio-political views, as well as her trauma and mental health struggles. In 2017, she changed her name to Magda David after converting to Islam in 2018. She changed it to Shuhaba Sadakat but continued to record and perform under her birth name. She was born Sinead Marie Bernadette O'Connor on 8th of December 1966 in the Caskia House nursing home at 13 Pembroke Road, Dublin. She was named Sinead after Sinead de Valera, the mother of the doctor presiding over the delivery, Eamon de Valera Jr., and Bernadette in honor of Saint Bernadette of Lourdes. She was the third of 5 children. Her siblings are novelist Joseph, Aimir, John, and Eon. Her parents were John Oliver, Sean O'Connor, a structural engineer later turned barrister and chairperson of the Divorce Action Group, and Joanna Marie O'Grady, who married in the Church of Our Lady of God, Council, Drimnagh, Dublin in 1960. She attended Dominican College Sion Hill School in Blackrock Country, Dublin. At the age of 13, she left her mother and went to live with her father, who had recently returned after marrying a woman named Viola Margaret Suter in Alexandria, Virginia, United States. At the age of 15, her self-confessed charitable acts of shoplifting as well as of trancy led to her being placed for 18 months in a Magdalene asylum called the Grignan Sun Training Center in Drumcondra, run by the Order of Our Lady of Charity. In some ways, she thrived there, especially in the development of her writing and music, but she also chafed under the imposed conformity despite being granted freedoms not allotted to other girls, such as attending an outside school and being able to listen to music, write songs and many others. For punishment, O'Connor described how if you were bad, they send you upstairs to sleep in the old folks' home. You are in there in the pitch black, you can smell the shit and the puke and everything, and these old women are moaning in their sleep. I have never and probably will never experience such panic and terror and agony over anything. She later attended the Quaker Newtown School, Waterford, for fifth and sixth year as a boarder, but did not sit the leaving certificate in 1985. On 10th of February, when O'Connor was 18, her mother Marie died in a car accident, aged 45, after losing control of her car on an icy road in Ballybrack and crashing into a bus. In June 93, O'Connor wrote a public letter in the Irish Times which asked people to stop hurting her. If only I can fight off the voices of my parents and gather a sense of self-esteem, then I'll be able to really sing. The letter repeated accusations of abuse by her parents as a child, which O'Connor had made in interviews. Her brother Joseph defended their father to the newspaper but agreed regarding their mother's extreme and violent abuse, both emotional and physical. Sinead said that month, "Our family is very messed up. We can't communicate with each other. We are all in agony. I, for one, am in agony." One of the volunteers in Granyan was the sister of Paul Byrne, drummer for the band in Tuanua, who heard O'Connor singing Evergreen by Barbara Streisand. She recorded a song with them called Take My Hand, but they felt that at 15 she was too young to join the band. Through an ad she placed in Hot Press in the mid-80s, she met Com Farrelly. Together they recruited a few other members and formed a band called Ton Ton McCall. The band moved to Waterford briefly while O'Connor attended Newton School, but she soon dropped out of school and followed them to Dublin, where their performances received positive reviews. Their sound was inspired by Farrelly's interest in world music, though most observers thought that O'Connor's singing and stage presence were the band's strongest features. O'Connor's time as singer for the band brought her to the attention of the music industry, and she was eventually signed by Ensign Records. She also acquired an experienced manager, Facta O'Kella, former head of U2's Mother Records. Soon after she was signed, she embarked on her first major assignment, providing the vocals for the song Heroine, which she co-wrote with U2's guitarist, the edge for the soundtrack to the film Captive. O'Kella, who had been fired by U2 for complaining about them in an interview, was outspoken with his views on music and politics, and O'Connor adopted the same habits. She defended the actions of the provisional era and said U2's music was bombastic. She later retracted her era comments, saying they were based on nonsense and that she was too young to understand the tense situation in Northern Ireland properly. Her first album, The Lion and the Cobra, was a sensation when it was released in 1987 on Chrysalis Records, and it reached gold record status, earning a Best Female Rock Vocal Performance Grammy nomination. The single Mandinka was a big college radio hit in the United States, and I Want Your Hands on Me received both college and urban play in a remixed form that featured rapper MC Lyte. In her first US network television appearance, O'Connor sang Mandinka on The Late Night with David Letterman in 1988. The song Troy was also released as a single in the UK, Ireland and the Netherlands, where it reached number 5 on the Dutch Top 40 chart. O'Connor named Bob Dylan, David Bowie, Bob Marley, Swigs and the Banshees and the Pretenders as the artists who influenced her on her debut album. In 1989, she joined the frontman Matt Johnson as a guest vocalist on the band's album Mind Bomb, which spawned the duet Kingdom of Rain. That same year she made another foray into cinema, starring in and writing the music for the Northern Irish film Hush a Bye Baby. Her second album, I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got gained considerable attention and mostly positive reviews. NME named it the year's second best album. She was praised for her voice and original songs, while being noted for her appearance, trademark shaved head, often angry expression, and sometimes shapeless or unusual clothing. Her shaved head has been seen as a statement against traditional views of femininity. Faith and Courage was released in the 2000s, including the single No Man's Woman, and featured contributions from Wyclef Jean of the Fugees and Dave Stewart of Eurythmics. Her 2002 album Jean Nos Noir marked a departure in that O'Connor interpreted, or in her own words, sexed up traditional Irish folk songs, including several in the Irish language. The album she covered a well-known Canadian folk song, Peggy Gordon. In January 2010, O'Connor performed a duet with R&B singer Mary J. Blige, produced by former A-Tribe Called Guest member Ali Shaheed Muhammad of O'Connor's song This Is to Mother You, first recorded by O'Connor on her 97 Gospel Oak EP. The proceeds of the song's sales were donated to the organization GEMS, Girls' Education and Mentoring Services. In 2012, the song Lay Your Head Down, written by Brian Byrne and Glenn Close for the soundtrack of the film Albert Nobbs and performed by O'Connor, was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Original Song. In October 2020, O'Connor released a cover of Mahalia Jackson's Trouble of the World, with proceeds from the single to benefit Black Lives Matter charities. On 1st of June 2021, her memoir Rememberings was released to positive critical reception. It was listed among the best books of the year on BBC Culture. The Irish Postal Service, An Post, released a postage stamp on 15th of July 2021 bearing an image of O'Connor singing. In January 2022, O'Connor's son Shane died by suicide at the age of 17. She subsequently decided to cancel her 2022 tour, and her album No Veteran Dies Alone was postponed indefinitely. In February 23, she shared a new version of the Sky Boat song, a 19th century Scottish adaptation of a 782 Gaelic song, which is also the theme of the fantasy drama series Outlander. The following month, she was awarded the inaugural Choice Music Prize Classic Irish Album by Irish broadcaster RTE for her 1990 album I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got. O'Connor turned an appearance on the US late-night television program Saturday Night Live on 3rd of October 1992 into a protest against child abuse. As a musical guest, she was originally scheduled to sing Success Has Made a Failure of Our Home and Scarlet Ribbons, two of the songs from the album she was promoting at the time, Am I Not Your Girl? However, the date before her live appearance, she was authorized to replace the latter performance with an a cappella rendition of Bob Marley's 1976 song War, with revised lyrics protesting child abuse. At the end of the performance, she unexpectedly tore up a photograph of Pope John Paul II, which she later said she had taken down from her mother's bedroom 8 years earlier. At the time, she did not mention the Roman Catholic Church as a culprit, nor distinguished between forms of abuse, but in January 1995, in an appearance on the British late-night television program After Dark, during an episode titled Ireland, Sex and Celibacy, Church and State, she linked abuse in families to the church. The discussion included a Dominican friar and another representative of the Roman Catholic Church, along with former Taoiseach Garrett Fitzgerald. Host Helena Kennedy described the event. Sinead came on and argued that abuse in families was coded in by the church because it refused to accept the accounts of women and children. In 2017, O'Connor changed her legal name to Magda David, saying in an interview that she wished to be free of the patriarchal slave names, free of the parental curses. On her conversion to Islam in October 2018, she adopted the name Shuhada and sometime later also changed her surname from David to Sadakat. She was married and divorced 4 times, and she had 4 children. She had her first son Jake in 1987 with her first husband, music producer John Reynolds, who co-produced several of her albums including Universal Mother. Reynolds and O'Connor later married in Westminster Register Office in March 1989. The same year, O'Connor had an abortion after things did not work out with the father. She later wrote the song My Special Child about the experience. O'Connor and Reynolds announced their plan to divorce in 1991 after being separated for some time. In September 1995, O'Connor announced that she was pregnant with the child of her friend, Irish columnist John Waiters. Soon after the birth of her daughter, in 1996, O'Connor and the girl's father began a long custody battle that ended with O'Connor agreeing to let the child live in Dublin with Waiters. In August 2001, she married British journalist Nick Summerlath in Wales, and in July 2002, the marriage ended after 11 months when they both parted ways. By February 2003, their marriage was reported to have completely finished, with Summerlath moving back to the United Kingdom. She had her third child, son Shane, in 2004 with musician Donald Lunny. In 2006, she had her fourth child, whose father is Frank Bonadio. O'Connor was married a third time on July 22, 2010 to longtime friend and collaborator Steve Cooney, and in late March 2011 the couple made the decision to separate. Her fourth marriage was to Irish therapist Barry Herridge. They wed in 2011 in Las Vegas, but their marriage ended after having lived together for 7 days only. The following week, on 3rd of January 2012, O'Connor issued a further string of internet comments to the effect that the couple had reunited. In February 2014, she stated that she and Herridge did not divorce and were planning to renew their wedding vows. 2 weeks later, they decided to not renew their vows. In 2015, her first grandson was born to her son Jake and his girlfriend. In 2022, 2 days after her 17-year-old son Shane was reported missing from Newbridge, County Kildare, he was found dead by suicide. His body was found by Gardaí in the Bray Shankill part of Dublin. O'Connor stated that her son, custody of whom she lost in 2013, had been on suicide watch at Tala Hospital and had ended his earthly struggle. O'Connor criticized the health service executive with regard to their handling of her son's case. She initially criticized Ireland's Family Services agency TUSLA, but retracted this a few days later. In January 2022, a week after her son's suicide, she was hospitalized on her own volition following a series of tweets in which she indicated she was going to take her own life. According to some reports, O'Connor had a relationship with the Red Hot Chili Peppers singer Anthony Kiedis in the 90s. She denied this, saying that they had met but fell out after he suggested they become a couple. Geddes wrote a song about the experience, I Could Have Lied, released on the '91 Red Hot Chili Peppers album Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic. O'Connor was dismissive of the song. Speaking about her relationship with Prince in an interview with Norwegian station NRK in November 2014, O'Connor said, I did meet him a couple of times. We didn't get on at all. In fact, we had a punch-up. She continued, he summoned me to his house after Nothing Compares. I made it without him. I would never met him. He summoned me to this house, and it's foolish to do this to an Irish woman. He said he didn't like me saying bad words in interviews, so I told him to fuck off. He got quite violent. I had to escape out of his house at 5 in the morning. He packed a bigger punch than mine. In her 2021 memoir Rememberings, O'Connor described her meeting with Prince in detail, which ranged from having his butler serve soup repeatedly despite no desire for soup, to hitting her with a hard object placed in a pillowcase after wanting a pillow fight, and stalking her with his car after she left the mansion. In 2007, O'Connor bought a large Victorian seafront house in Bray, County Wicklow, near Dublin. She sold it in 2021, having moved to her holiday home. She later lived at a house in the Kilglass-Scramock area between Strokestown and Roosky, County Roscommon, and on the main street of Knockannana, County Wicklow, which she sold in 2022. She later also had a home in Dalkey, south of Dublin. She moved to a flat in London in the spring of 2023, saying that she was feeling less lonely and would soon finish her new album. In the early 2000s, O'Connor revealed that she suffered from fibromyalgia. The pain and fatigue she experienced caused her to take a break from music from 2003 to 2005. On an episode of the Oprah Winfrey Show broadcast on 4th of October 2007, O'Connor disclosed that she had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder 4 years earlier and had attempted suicide on her 33rd birthday, 8th of December 1999. Then, on Oprah, Where Are They Now? On February 2014, O'Connor said that she had received 3 second opinions and was told by all 3 that she was not bipolar. O'Connor was also diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder and borderline personality disorder. In August 2015, she announced that she was to undergo a hysterectomy after suffering gynecological problems for over 3 years. O'Connor later blamed the hospital's refusal to administer hormonal replacement therapy after the operation as the main reason for her mental health issues in the subsequent years, stating, I was flung into surgical menopause. Hormones were everywhere. I became very suicidal. I was a basket case. Having smoked cannabis for 30 years, O'Connor went to a rehabilitation center in 2016 to end her addiction. O'Connor was agoraphobic. In 2007, she posted a 12-minute video on her Facebook page in which she stated that she had felt alone since losing custody of her 13-year-old son Shane, and that for the prior 2 years she had wanted to kill herself with only her doctor and psychiatrist keeping her alive. The month after her Facebook post, O'Connor appeared on the American television talk show Dr. Phil on the show's 16th season debut episode. According to Dr. Phil, O'Connor wanted to do the interview because she wanted to destigmatize mental illness, nothing to the prevalence of mental health problems among musicians. In a 2000 interview in Curve, she said that she was a lesbian. She later retracted the statement, and in 2005 told Entertainment Weekly, "I'm three-quarters heterosexual, a quarter gay." In 2013, she published an open letter on her own website to American singer and actress Miley Cyrus, in which she warned Cyrus of the treatment of women in the music industry and stated that sexuality is a factor in this, which was in response to Cyrus's music video for her song Wrecking Ball. Cyrus responded by mocking O'Connor and alluding to her mental health problems. O'Connor was a vocal supporter of a united Ireland and called on the left-wing Republican Sinn Féin party to be braver. She called for the demolition of the Republic of Ireland and its replacement with a new united country. She also called for key Sinn Féin politicians like Gary Adams to step down because they remind people of violence, referring to the Troubles. In a 2015 interview with the BBC, she said she wished that Ireland had remained under British rule, which ended after the Irish War of Independence, except for Northern Ireland, saying the church took over and it was disastrous. Following the Brexit referendum in 2016, O'Connor wrote on Facebook, "Ireland is officially no longer owned by Britain." On the 26th of March 2010, she appeared on CNN Anderson Cooper 360 to speak out about the Catholic sexual abuse scandal in Ireland. On 28th of March, she had an opinion piece published in the Sydney edition of the Washington Post, in which she wrote about the scandal and her time in the Magdalene Laundry as a teenager. Writing for the Sunday Independent, she labeled the Vatican as a nest of devils and called for the establishment of an alternative church, opining that Christ is being murdered by liars in the Vatican. Shortly after the election of Pope Francis, she said, "Well, I guess I wish everyone the best, and I don't know anything about the man, so I'm not going to rush to judge him on one thing or another, but I would say he has a scientifically impossible task, because all religions, but certainly the Catholic Church, is really a house built on sand, and it's drowning in a sea of conditional love, and therefore it can't survive, and actually the office of Pope itself is an anti-Christian office. The idea that Christ needs a representative is laughable and blasphemous. At the same time, therefore, it's a house built on sand, and we need to rescue God from religion. All religions, they have become a smokescreen that distracts people from the fact that there is a Holy Spirit, and when you study the Gospels, you see the Christ character came to tell us that we only need to talk directly to God. We never needed religion." Asked whether from her point of view it's therefore irrelevant who is elected to be Pope, O'Connor replied, "Genuinely, I don't mean disrespect to Catholic people because I believe in Jesus Christ, I believe in the Holy Spirit, all of those, but I also believe in all of them. I don't think it cares if you call it Fred or Daisy, Religion is a smokescreen, it has everybody talking to the wall. There is a Holy Spirit who can't intervene on your behalf unless we ask it. Religion has us talking to the wall. The Christ character tells us himself, you must only talk directly to the Father, you don't need intermediaries. We all thought we did, and that's okay. We are not bad people, but let's wake up. God was there before religion. It's there today despite religion. It will be there when religion is gone." Tatiana Kavelka wrote about O'Connor's later Christian work, describing it as theologically charged yet unorthodox, oriented toward an interfaith dialogue and those on the margins. After her conversion to Islam, O'Connor called those who were not Muslims disgusting and criticized Christian and Jewish theologians on Twitter in November 2018. She wrote, "What I'm about to say is something so racist I never thought my soul could ever feel it. But truly, I never want to spend time with white people again, if that's what non-Muslims are called. Not for one moment for any reason. They are disgusting." Later that month, O'Connor stated that her remarks were made in an attempt to force Twitter to close down her account. In September 2019, she apologized for the remarks, saying they were not true at the time and they are not true now. "I was triggered as a result of Islamophobia dumped on me. I apologize for hurt caused." That was one of many crazy tweets, Lord knows. On 26th of July 2023, O'Connor was found unresponsive at her flat in Herne Hill, South London, and later confirmed dead at the age of 56. Her family issued a statement later the same day without indicating the cause of her death. The following day, the Metropolitan Police reported that O'Connor's death was not being treated as suspicious. And on 28th of July, the coroner in London said that the date of her death was still unknown. Thank you guys for watching and listening to this video. I hope you have liked and enjoyed the material, and it is really sad how such great talented singer and writer, musician and artist has parted this world. Please let me know in the comments what you think about her life and her views. And don't forget to subscribe to support this channel and stay tuned for more inspiring women to come. Thank you. Bye.